Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, this is freaking annoying. I can't get my antlers in the shot. That's no good. So I might as well take them off. But what's the topic this morning? Divide and conquer for freedom. Divide and conquer for freedom. Shannon, dividing and conquering is only good for destruction. It doesn't come from freedom. It comes from enslavement. And I would say no. No, there's a lot of, basically, like, this is the government's trick. There is a group of people all together, all plotting against the government. No, there is a group of people called Australians, and yes, they are plotting against the concept that there is a united Australia, which is a lie. And that's a good thing. There isn't a united Australia. There is a million different perspectives and a million different concerns and observations, and they should all be heard equal. Like, do you get it? Now, during the mandates, there was the thing, there's this anti-vax movement. All right, well, I'm about to fucking blow up everyone's fucking biscuit because there wasn't a fucking anti-vax movement. That was the government made that one as well. And here's the doozy of all doozies. From tomorrow fucking lunchtime, any person who was seen to be using a false proof of vaccination record is going to face 5 years in prison for disrupting our democracy. Or they can put a thing up that says, we need to have a discussion about this. Do you get what I mean? Like, we didn't have... So take the obvious, someone who got the vaccine and someone who was like me, non-stop saying, no, we need to discuss this isn't good, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The largest... See, if you got it, then it's like you were persuaded. Now, I was never persuading anyone not to get it. I was saying that we need to have a discussion about mandates because they're unscientific and they're really dangerous, extremely dangerous. Because you can't coerce people down to experiments. Of course you can't. So the largest disruptive force out there was people that just lied because they used fraud to obstruct democracy. And this was the vast majority of anti-vaxxers or the unvaccinated. Now, I'm not trying to attack these people. I'm saying, hey, it's time to fucking start saying the right things. Yeah, there's no more sitting on the fence. Like that's fraud. I did 9 months prison, suspended sentence, and 2 weeks in the maximum security prison because of this. And I didn't lie. There was nothing fraudulent. It was all out in the open because my push was there needs to be discussion within our parliament. That should have been happening. That's how the parliament's supposed to work. So if you've used fraud, and basically, unfortunately, these apps and these online services, they were all part of it. So we have all those records. So we know anyway. So basically, everyone who just pretended that they got the vaccine, yeah, that amplified the tension between someone like me and the people that got the vaccine. Because they, according to them and the media, I was a tiny little thing. Like, everybody got the vaccine. And the reason they think everybody got the vaccine is because everybody was lying about whether they got the vaccine. That's a far bigger problem for a far wider range of issues than just mandates and just vaccination policy. That's fraud. You want to sit there and say these sovereign citizens? Well, how about we realize that we have a culture of bullshit in this country, and this is more dangerous. And to even extend like a thing to the politicians, well, how are they supposed to know who's using fake ones and who's using real ones? So their information was driven by fake vaccination certificates, by fake false data, by fraudulent data. So there was never enough energy to have a discussion. That's a dangerous concept because it means that people are more confident in bullshitting their government than being honest with their government. And that's why we're in this mess. Now, the reason for this, to then, give up an excuse for these people that have felt they needed to fake it, is because of the pressure used by the government in the form of policing and fines and imprisonment. So can you blame them? No. But how do we sort this mess out? Well, I think I've cleared the path enough to say something like this. There will be an imposed 5-year jail term for anyone who was seen to be who can be proven that they falsely used a false vaccination record, or they have a period of 2 months to publicly acknowledge that they were using a false vaccination record. Then we can get the true figures and we can get the true environment that was going on, and then we can bring all of this to Parliament, and then we can set the bar for the standard for the rest of the world, because the rest of the world was subject to these same conditions. The truth should not be something to be afraid of, but it was terrifying. To speak my truth, my version of the truth, to push that to the very extreme was the most terrifying thing I've ever done. It was absolutely horrible. My guess is I will permanently have some type of damage and scarring and PTSD, but I'm not getting into that because it's not the time nor the place because of this. And a simple strategy of pretending that you got it. Do you pretend you've got a license? No. Are you laughing at sovereign citizens because they're claiming these types of things? Well, you're part of that group. I've said the entire time during there has never been a cohesive anti-vax movement. Yeah. Some of the most worrying people and the most concerning people I had were coming from that movement. It wasn't in solidarity. There was people that were spreading concepts of like the worst of the worst, and there was people that were like just amplifying and everything. And then the vast majority of the unvaccinated just decided to bullshit and keep going on with life. Now that is the most dangerous cohort of people. And what you have to consider is that probably makes up 20 or 30% of our population. So that's some dangerous figures. That skews the entire thing way out to the left. And it's like, if we can't get to this point now and say that the tensions between vocal unvaccinated people and the vaccinated were amplified by unvaccinated people pretending to be vaccinated, then where are we? We should not be afraid to speak truth to power in our country. And although, it's been difficult, the majority of that has come from other people and just from the sense of alienation to have to go this alone. Because it should have been taking place within Parliament. But how Parliament can only put its finger up and test the weather. So we have the two things we have: dangerous totalitarian concepts to distribute an experimental, marketed substance for profit by the politicians. And we have a large cohort of unvaccinated that were using fraudulent certificates. These are the two most dangerous groups of people in our country, because they're bullshitting. One's bullshitting to get power and to sell something, and the other's bullshitting to stay off the radar, to just get along with it. Like the ultimate drug. It's all basically whenever you were sold an easy solution, and this is the thing with the vaccine as well. The vaccine was an easy solution. You get one thing, you go for 5 minutes, you go get it, and then you're a hero, you've done your massive part. Yeah, but you may have done your part according to what the government says, but you haven't done your part as an Australian. But then in a way, you have. You're a law-abiding citizen. You've done what you've told. Now, the vast majority of government procedures and processes, this is a good thing. You want to do what they say. But it's not all the time. But how are you going to be alerted to a potential discussion point as opposed to a, excessive force coercion point? If vast percentages of the population are resulting to fraud. And this trend, it's like just this trend alone, I've exposed here this morning how much damage this has caused to our country and the world, this concept. Then it's like, that's a serious thing. I went to prison for talking about this. Yet the larger crime is to falsely represent yourself as that. That's the largest crime. And if we have this significant amount of people in our country and in the world that are going to do this, what else are they doing in our societies that is like this? And this shows that, like, the comfort level of people in this black market world. You know what I mean? People, and this cohort of the people that are buying illegal drugs. You know what I mean? They're probably buying illegal pornography, illegal techniques for everything else. Like, get down to it. Like, these are the people downloading movies, which cost us all. Because now we live in a paradigm of subscriptions and things like that, because that's the only profitable way to make money by producing content. This is the Napster effect. This is the Pirate Bay effect, but in government. And it has been not acknowledged because it was far easier to attack the people that were actually standing out and saying, hey, this is a point that needs to be discussed in Parliament. Not in a mob, in constant explanation. This is obviously a very debatable issue. If it's holding debate 3 years after the event, it should be in our Parliament. This protest going on today, it's like the majority of those people are activated not because of Palestine. They feel that's an addition onto it. This was activated by the vaccine mandates. This is cause for discussion within Parliament. And so if Parliament's going to do anything, and this is like, if you want to claim there is a united anti-vax movement, there's nothing like it. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I never have been. I'm a pro-democracy advocate. I'm a pro-federal government advocate. I'm a pro-Australia advocate. I'm a pro-Commonwealth advocate. I'm a pro-monarchy advocate, because I think all those things can harmoniously work together. And I think I've proven that. But I've proven it to an extreme level, like an ultimate backstop that's defended our ultimate rights by the very institution that most of you claim is not necessary anymore, is old-fashioned. Well, if we didn't have that, we'd have nothing. There is no difference, basically, in my mind, there is no difference between falsing a vaccination to get in a pub. That's the same as falsing anything. It's fraud. It's an obstruction of justice. It's an obstruction of democracy. So the government's guilty of targeting the wrong people. This cohort is guilty of fraud. The government is also guilty of using like elevated levels of coercion in an absolutely reckless way. So the only innocent party who end up being victims, perhaps, if there are harmful effects of this product, are the people that were vaccinated. That's what I'm saying this morning. These are innocent victims. And if there is ill effects caused, then every single person who fraudulently claimed vaccination has skewed a key demographic, a key market, like key metric in this product rollout, in this health scheme, in this pandemic policy. And to them, this is why this is all old now. This is old news. Oh, I just faked it. That's their attitude. Oh, I just faked it. Let's get on with the world. Hang on a second. You falsely claimed to participate in an experiment that was under the largest debate between government protocol, between health protocol in the world, and you just pretended to the favor of which then what? How many and then you mocked the people getting it? They were getting it because they thought everyone was getting it. So let's start doing those maths, those figures. How many people have died from vaccine injuries because they were thinking that we were at 80, 90% when we weren't, because of false claims of vaccination? Because the mood of the thing, everyone was out, everyone was busy, everyone was mingling, co-mingling. Now, at the time, because there was so much pressure on the unvaccinated, we had to stay together. We didn't know. So this has skewed it even further. This is a combination between people falsely claiming vaccination and people pushing vaccine with guns. I think it's something like, how many guns? It's something like probably 30 firearms have been within a 1 meter radius of me. Despite, but previously this, I think I'd touched 2 guns. I'd been within a meter of 2 guns in my life. And then based on this, I was exposed to people with guns being a meter away from me, and approximately 30 of them over the course of this period. Yeah, what else would you describe that as? Now, how many guns did the people who were falsely claiming that they were vaccinated? How many guns did the politicians have on them? Am I starting to draw a picture? Our entire government is illegitimate, not because of anything some sovereign citizen says, because it is used knowingly. The government knows that there was a false vaccination record. So its strategy was entirely to weed out and destroy psychologically, financially, emotionally, physically, the lives of anyone who dared to question the government. And look what's happening now. You have 400 police that have shut down a regional area because they bungled a warrant. Now, if we have a thing where perhaps 20, 30% of our population used false vaccination record, how can anyone be secure that people rocking up in uniforms are police, that their warrants are secure? They can't be. If you look at the New South Wales police badge, it has the proper crown. If you look at the Victorian, it has a false crown. And this is a border, and this person has run up to this border. They're closer to New South Wales than they were to Victoria. So what's going on? These are not small things. For hundreds of years, this is everything. This is the only thing that kept anything going. And this shows again the mentality of fraud in our societies, in our country, in the world. This is fraud on steroids, just amplified to every end of the earth, being held without discussion, with false claims made everywhere. We need to acknowledge the people that were coerced to vaccination and then encouraged based on false figures of vaccination and false societal, feedback by the people falsely using, but falsely claiming they were vaccinated. They're innocent victims of the largest industrial accident known to man. We'd think about Chernobyl. Yeah, this is astronomically larger than Chernobyl. And so it's time to weed it out, to weed out the damage. I think there needs to be a grace period, and then there needs to be an absolute crackdown on this behaviour, because these are the same. But you will find the same people. You'll find the same entire thing. What else are they falsely providing financials in order to do tax? Falsely providing financials to get mortgages. By far, the largest issue that we have right now. So there is no unity in anything like the unvaccinated. There is people that are concerned, and this is where we're at. But if you're concerned, you need to speak. And you pretending to be part of the group of concern is just hindering actual concern. A stop sign or a red light is not a suggestion. It's a law. Trust me, I can tell you, I lost my license for, I think, 12 months because on double demerits, I ran through a stoplight on my birthday a couple of years ago. But being actively democratic and actively conversational, putting that's not against the law. I had to stop my entire life because the majority of you falsely claimed to be vaccinated and kept quiet. And that has killed people. And you mocked those people. A lot of you. So there needs to, there's a grace period to get you all out of the fucking dark. And then there needs to be an absolute crackdown. However, wherever, whenever there can be. And my words here, my things this morning is I do not want to see these people in prison. I want to see the true numbers released. You think you've escaped this by doing this strategy? You haven't. But unlike myself, who was forced, and a couple of other people were forced to tirelessly work to get to the actual core, the bottom of what was going on in astronomical circumstances, with absolute bullshit flying everywhere from all parties. You're all given this thing together. So it's here we go. Get it done. Yeah, you're not going to be on some list that's going to then be later produced to put you in prison. It's not how it works. You are going to give true estimation for the numbers and what was going on. This will begin the conversation that we actually need to have, and hopefully legitimize equal discussion in our parliament, which we still don't have. America has distributed it. They've made the fear, distributed it around the world, gone through their argument, and now they literally have their health minister in the form of RFK, Robert Kennedy, is now shutting it down, and we still haven't even begun to discuss it yet. This is an American invasion. And there will be more, not just from America, there will be from everywhere. And the truth is what we need. We need a absolutely ready population to sort out the core kernel of every single targeted attack and get it from the community level to our parliament like that. And the number one thing in the way of that is absolute conformity and fraud. And when I say absolute conformity, I mean if you are taking what the government is saying to you and you are distributing it voluntarily on your own, and you are policing other people, which that is the one of the that of the vaccinated cohort, they are the most dangerous individuals. People that were policing government thing without getting paid for it, government processes. They're the true SS Nazis of this thing. And there are certain people that I have on my record of those people, they will be brought to justice. People that were actively policing, not officially with no badge, you were policing Australians to conform and do exactly what the government said, just autonomously. Not to participate in conversation, to shut down conversation. No, it's not up for debate. This isn't up for debate. This is 100%. So the innocent victims of this are the coerced, vaccinated people that would have been questionable about it. But because of this, both sides, all three things, the government tyrannical overreach, the unofficial enforcers, volunteer enforcers, the super Karens, the HR fucking nannies. Then on the other side of this cohort, there's the people that lied about vaccination, the people that, made it sound ridiculous by bringing up absolutely crazy conspiracy theories, which is true, that it's part of some type of elaborate fucking, no. I can swear on it, this isn't part of some elaborate fucking thing. There's an elaborate defense of it because it's multiple tiered attacks on our country. And when you use proper processes, proper democratic, proper like person-to-person, grassroots up techniques, there is no such thing as a fucking national mandate. That's the whole point. A national mandate is against almost every single concept that has kept society together. This region is 120 years old. Yeah, there is no national mandate for anything. And you'll notice that when you look at our laws. Bar the very like property ownership, things like this, like in travel. Yeah, okay, there's that. But product selection, no. This is why it was distributed by the states. It's an international global health strategy distributed by states. So it circumvented the federal. Because in the eyes of the law, in the eyes of and in the commercial world, it was just a product. It's like a Slinky. The Slinky was one of the first viral toy sensations, on top of the next one, which is called the iPhone. And what was the number one marketing tool used to distribute this product of the COVID-19 vaccine? Was viral marketing taking place on a viral handheld toy. Pretty crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So yeah, it's time to wrap this fucking thing up. And there is no unity in any group within this. There should only be unity now for concern and sympathies, just like the 2 slain police officers. There should be concern and sympathies for the coerced or the unvolunteering. This is children who were forced by their parents. Vaccinated. So people that were basically threatened into getting vaccinated, and people that didn't have a say in it at all, the young people that were forced by their parents. Their parents under, in my opinion, what is duress. By liars, by tyrants, by manipulation, by PR and marketing, by peer pressure, by all the negative things we all know are negative. So yeah, it's time to fucking shut this fucking circus down. This is, like I said, the largest industrial accident ever recorded. So act accordingly, yeah?